Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. This is Women's Tour episode number 9. I'm at the Tour de Savoie. Sponsor objective, win a stage, all 4 stages, climbing stages. Not crazy hard climbing stages, but the kind that we just can't get the job done. Sheer, on a fitness peak, actually had a really good race overall and ended up finishing 13th. Never in the top 10 on any stage, just outside of the top 10 throughout. Every place. Actually, no, I think she just squeezed inside the top 10 on one stage. But was consistent enough to end up getting 13th overall at a minute 9 down. So really surprising, actually, on that result. Klaus also had a pretty good one with 11th on the final time trial. Finished 2:39 down. Really good result, all things considered. DeWitt, O'Neill, right at the back, though. Almost last place. So the struggles are real. The struggles continue. This was our final 2-star objective. Everything getting a little smaller from here. Next up is the Nationals. Time trial wise, we have no chance, no hope. There's a certain somebody, Chloe Dygert, who is going to crush the competition in the U.S. for that crush. So we'll have to move on to the road race. Give it a shot. Another rider charging more. They all look at our team. They're like, yeah, we're gonna charge you more. It's gonna be more expensive now. Getting Ryan up to 9 points, 60% though, not too bad. Clevenger, let's see, 15 June. We're picking up 5% each time. So July, mid-July, that's going to get her to 90% only. So Clevenger's not going to hit 100. Kendall Ryan's not going to hit 100. She'll hit 80. Hopefully building for the future with those two, especially if Clevenger happens to develop as a rider. So we'll have to keep an eye out. But still, 67s, 66s, 65s, all better than what we have currently by a wide margin. And if any of these riders have potential, which I have not looked at closely yet, that will be a big, big step in the right direction. Plus, there's a number of 67s, 66s, 65s that do have interest in us already. So we got to make sure we keep an eye on that. One thing I have not done yet, and I want to do so now before we get too much further here, our youth development. Scouting. Let's see what we have in potential. Aksiri, 72 puncher. We're not going to be able to get them signed up, but Jacopo Passerini, 62 puncher with high potential. That may be a rider to go after. It's already as good as riders that I have now. Can and should develop rapidly. So we're going to go find Passerini. U.S. National Championships, and it's a 4-lap event with a good little bit of climbing, but it's not too bad, the climbs. There's one to worry about, and we'll see how that is in the later laps. We're coming up on that now. So Sykes has made it into the break. There's the finish line and what that looks like. And here's the worrying climb that puts you up onto what looks like the freeway. Really, really nicely done. I love the look on this stage. It's very clean. It's very precise. There's not a lot of fans here. It's COVID, it happens. But very, very wide roadway. Still struggling, and Sykes is struggling to stay in this group. There's another rider in no man's land. Peloton split. What the heck? The little climb split the field. And my entire team got left behind. Moke. Oh my goodness. These guys are all coming back. It's okay. I knew eventually this climb was going to be a problem. I didn't think it was going to be a problem the first, well, technically second time we hit it. We've got to hit it 2 more times. I figured by the 3rd time it would be a problem. Sykes is going to get dropped from that group. Alright, this is all back together. Other than 5 riders, Moke among them, and they are about to make contact. Luckily there's 3 Sunweb riders. Alright, all back together. There you go. 63k to go. This is a good time to take on water. Moke on a -5. No wonder she was so far behind. Go ahead and use her to take care of that. Sykes has recovered slightly, and the pace has actually finally lifted in this group. And the gap has opened. No wonder it all came back together. But we're not that far away from starting climb number 3 of the day.
The gap is widening. It's now more than 2 minutes.
Really lost something here, and Sykes is only just recovering. There's that finish line again.
Don't have anybody in the breakaway group. We're into the second half of the race.
My chances are not good today. However, I've got a large team here. The field just split again. You gotta be kidding me. What has happened with these 3? Why did they all just fall off the back? There was no attack. There was no climb. Did they fall? Did they crash with each other and take each other out? I wouldn't put it beyond them. I mean, look at McPherson. Everything's in the 50s. Everything.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its speed. This climb features some dreadful percentages.
They are not riding anywhere near as hard this time. Get up through the climb. Now we can speed up. Close that gap down. Sykes was dropped. Front group fell apart. Even at a 60 effort, we ran out of energy, and we were not alone. Yan, Valiente. 3 more riders bridge the gap joined us. Favorites, maybe? Or are they punchers? Oh no, it's favorites. Staggered Owen, Langley. Winder got caught out here. Ruth Winder got caught out. She's now going for it. Taylor Wiles. Yeah, the other favorites now at the front doing the chase. I do get my 3 riders back in. Schmid, O'Neill, McPherson. I don't want to chase this down. No, thank you. What I do want, though, is to figure out how and who to protect. O'Neill, protect Shear. McPherson, protect Schmid. There you go. Okay, hope for their recovery. Meanwhile, Sykes. Okay, we got ditched by the one I'm guessing is going to win this thing.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its
harsh ratings on the climbing. I think she's a little better than that as a climber. Not significantly. The time trial, obviously. Yeah, 83. No doubt. I wouldn't have put it past him to put her at an 84 even. I've never seen a time trialist like her. Just absolutely inhuman. She's better than a lot of the guys in the time trial. Not all, but a lot. And that's pro. Not amateur. Pro. I couldn't ride 5 minutes with Chloe Dagger.
By many riders, the percentages are very high.
Alright, 24k to go. That was the last of the climbs.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking.
Sykes
the peloton has significantly increased its speed.
hanging on potentially for a top 10. 18k to go. We're going to ride just a little bit harder.
15 kilometers remaining.
And then I'm going to see how that's going with Sykes. And if it's not going well, we set ourselves up for a sprint finish. Nice little downhill. Valiente not doing well. I'm wondering if I should just do a little
Riders are falling
attack.
on the back. It's not a good moment to be going through a
Wow,
bad patch.
that hurt
The
Sykes more
finish
than I
line is
expected
getting
it to.
close. The riders just passed the
That
Decathlon
hurt
left
Sykes
side.
more than I expected it to. Wow, there's the peloton. Okay, all right, here we go. McPherson's been dropped. O'Neill's going backwards. Pace has picked up, and they caught us very, very quick. So let's get the riders that are ready for some action. It's not Sykes. Sykes, Otto, O'Neill, Otto. You're about to get dropped anyway. Top Perez. Where's she at? Shear's at the very back right now. That's not a good place to be. Klaus will be the very back. Shear. Good little sprint. Moak down to a 60 right now. Schmid. Probably looking a little better. Yes. Wow. Moak. Should be the leader. Not today, though. No, no, no. You know what? Okay, we've got the gel thing. That's fine. And a gel thing here. I'm actually going to use Sykes for a moment because Top Perez is awfully far back. And I want to set a tempo that brings us forward, not backward. There we go. See, now they're going to follow Top Perez to the front. And now we just continue on and bring it forward. And use your last little bit of energy, Top Perez. There you go. And now it's a group of 4 with 8K to go. Try a 91. Moak was still coming forward. I mean, that's how long it's taking them to get in position. There's a lot of downhill on this finish. That should be Moak's strength. Moak's greatest attribute, but not the climbing part. 6K with some downhill to come. Come on, get over the top of this thing, and now accelerate. What? Can you, maybe get with our team? Thank you, camera. 4.3K. 6 riders left to the front, so we're riding for 7th place. Last little uphill swing, and that's it. Schmid. We're going to go forward, and then we're going to attack here in just a moment because it's downhill. We want to attack the downhill. There's the downhill swing.
A victory that went right down to the
Chloe Dagger.
wire. Wow, he handled
No
his
doubt.
race well.
Can we get in the top 10? Okay, Moak. I had to wait. I don't think she's going to make it even here. Can we get a top 10? Klaus is riding for it. Schmid almost hanging on to it. Strong lead out. Just missed the top 10. 12th. 13th.
The riders bringing up their rear have made it through sheer
Alexis
willpower.
Ryan, the
This
favorite,
stage was
ends
a
up
real strength
taking
effort.
7th, so she won that sprint. Jastrab's a sprinter in 10th. Klaus, of course, Schmid, Amber Naben, one of the best American riders, 14th.
Now for the best moments of the day.
It's a decent result for us. And we had a rider in the break, we just couldn't hang on to it. But the fact that we were still in contention, still had a lot of the team there, and able to put in a good sprint towards the finish line, it was all good signs. In our strongest performance we've ever had, a quick sim race. It's a youth race only. But it was a difficult youth race, and Erica Klaus, developing rapidly enough, just 20 years old, is a sprinter, a 62.62, but has a mountain rating of 60. That alone puts her among the better riders that was at this race. Of course, we, with a large contingency of youth riders, actually were able to offer her support, and Erica Klaus goes and grabs 4th place in the GC at the end of it. So nice little result there, though it's completely meaningless. It has 0 super prestige points involved. But you could also see the continued development within the squad. Moak still a 63, but Klaus now a 62. Shear's already a 62. DeWitt now a 61. Schmid up to 60. A quad of 58s, and Larson the last one left behind. But mostly Larson has decent potential. But I don't have a trainer to match with Larson right now. And that just is not something I can really afford to bother with currently. 20th of July, no more races between now and then. So next up, contract re-signing. We did it. We kept even neutral. So not great in the neutral department, but considering how bad we were, that is pretty dang good. Much better than expected. I mean, obviously, the talk all along was whether we can keep it above 10%. Because last year when we tried this, I think our final evaluation was 5%. So my men's career mode at the start of this year was similarly horrendous, and we lost our sponsor. Actually, no, I think last year, this one, it was 0%. My men's, I think, was the 5% evaluation. So third time round of doing a super, super hard start has gone much better than expected. So yay us. Let's hope the riders continue to develop, because two things. One, they don't all have expiring contracts. Two, I do need to keep a contingency of American riders. And a lot of the riders that we're looking at bringing in are not American riders. But we will look to a couple of the ones that are. And I have been kind of glancing at the potential. So that there is hope on that part. But I might be retaining one or two of our expiring contracts. We'll see here in a little bit. As a self-sponsored team, it's a no-brainer that I want to stay with my current sponsor, me. So we extend. Before we do any signing, we're going to take a look at things as they stand. The first thing I can tell you is there are a ton of expiring contracts, and there's a lot of riders who are just not signed up with their teams. Trek, sitting pretty. They are the only team that has a lot of good riders still signed up. Sunweb, Canyon SRAM are doing okay. CCC, not too bad. But that's already down to 3 stars. What we're used to in the men's career mode, that's continental level. Right now, that's projected as the 4th best team. Down to 2.5 is the top 10. 17th is 2 stars. A half star at 38th, which is still Continental Pro level, by the way. 45th is the cut for Continental Pro. And where do we sit? 54th right now. But there are so many riders to sign up, and most teams have a significantly better profile than we have. Right now we're looking at literally 0 stars. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot better than that. We will get better. Both Stolmans. Not enough to have anyone signed up right now. WNT, Mitchelton Scott, Movistar. Everybody's writing 1-year contracts apparently with their riders. That's a dangerous game when you get into this game. Let's get to the fun. Let's see what we can do to sign up some riders. But again, there was not much interest out there. So it's already slim pickings. But it can't hurt. We can't get any worse than we were. I begin with the rider with the most potential of anyone. Classified as a puncher, but low 60s across the board means she's a pretty open book. But with 5'8 potential, it's a must grab and should be an easy signing. Passerini was 99% interested in joining us at 2,500. We had to push it to 3,000 to get that little boost that we needed, because the interest in the team itself was not that great. My need for American riders brings me to a 4.7 potential. Cynthia Marie, 24 years of age. Baradeur, not going to be terribly useful in a lot of areas, but right now, even a flat rating of 70 is going to help this team. Jennifer Maxwell should be a little bit better off for us. Classics rider, same average, but built a little bit better right up front. okay time trialing, okay mountain, good downhill, cobble, sprint, does multiple things, and with the potential and the age, should develop nicely and replace a lot of the riders we have currently, or allow us to replace a couple of those riders. Within my own squad, Kaya Schmid is the leading candidate to bring back. Just 17 years of age, tons of time still. Already a 60 when she was 56 or 57 at the start of the season. 4-7 potential is the best we have on the squad. Re-signed easily. That just about takes care of what we need, American riders-wise. Shear and Klaus are the other two, with the expiring contracts that we might hang on to. Beyond that, Sykes, McPherson, Larson, even though Larson does have some potential, gone. So definitely those three gone. We may yet re-sign Shear and Klaus and expand the roster size a bit, as we actually do have a decent amount of money to play with. I might try to sign these two to shorter contracts, depending on where their potential sits, and kind of just hang on to them as filler, as domestiques for now. But as two of my current stronger riders, it's worth considering. I didn't think I necessarily needed another American rider, but Erica Clevenger, sprinter, 65 overall, 25 years of age, with moderate potential. A lot of the riders don't have moderate potential. That's actually up there. Smod's set up in a way where there's lots and lots and lots of riders with potential that is 4 or below. So a 3-5 potential and already a 65, not too shabby. That would already put her as the best rider on the team, or at least compared to the current team. So I might as well bring Clevenger in. Maybe a 2-year deal, though. Minimum money, 2-year deal. Yeah, I don't mind. I think that's a good signing for us. So I have 9 riders so far. And the really good news is we've only spent $23,000 of an $83,000 budget. We have $60,000 left to play with. I'm not going to spend all $60,000. A few reasons why. One, can't afford top riders. But actually, I think I can go after some semi-interested riders that are better than what we have signed up on the list right now. We can slightly overpay. I can't go in the 70 plus kind of terrain where they're going to get crazy expensive, but signing some, 68s, 67s and overpaying a little bit, we've got some budget to play with for that. We got to be careful on who to go for. So a couple things are going to happen. One, I want you to let me know in the comments below whether you believe I should be re-signing Erica Klaus and Shear. Our top climbers, top sprinters as of right now. Coming back, they won't be as strong. But you can see, looking at the current list, they would be right there with Passerini. They're both 62s right now. So they'd be in the middle of the mix. Of course, Moke is a sprinter, so it would put them just below 3 of the 4 new signings. Still better than the 4 teammates at the bottom of the list. So they would still have a role to play. And should theoretically be re-signable for pretty cheap. I think Shear might cost me $3,000 because her interest level is a 99%. Nice. 99%. Great one there. And that means she's going to be more demanding because 100% is the trigger point for them to be happy and give you full discount. Klaus is at 100% already, so should be $2,500. So they're not expensive, and we do have money to play with. And like I said, I would not sign them to a 3-year contract. I might do a 2-year contract to keep them around for a little bit, as we right now have 4 expiring contracts next season. I have 1 2-year contract signed with Erica Clevenger. That would give me 3 2-year contracts, so that would give me 4 expiring and then 3 expiring. At least I'd have a succession of riders kind of rolling out of the team the next couple of years instead of having a big gap. So I'd be doing 2-year contracts for those 2. So let me know in the comments below if you think I should retain them. But we're not done signing yet, regardless of whether I get those 2. They'd have a role to play. They could definitely support climbs. Some of those riders, some of those 65s are not going to be terribly effective. At least one of them is definitely a Baradeur. But I can aim a little bit higher and overpay to get a couple more riders. We have 9 now. If we return those 2, that's 11. And if we go get 2 or 3 more riders on, depending on kind of what they're demanding, 1-year contracts or 2-year contracts, we can afford to pay a bit more. But ultimately, we are not going the 60,000. Reason being, I have staff to pay. And as bad as we are, we're not going to bring a ton of money in next season beyond the monthly. So we can't afford to go significantly over. I do need to pay my staff basically within the budget. We can go slightly over. We can be 86, 88, maybe 90,000 total at the end of this thing. But we can't go significantly over and still have a decent staff. I need a decent staff because I'm getting bad riders with potential. They need to develop. I need to support that development. So I need good trainers and I need good scouts, because as we get better, as we raise our profile, which we already have, we have 3 riders better than everything we had this last season already. So the index is looking better right now. Anyway, that being said, I need to hang on to those. And so we can only do so much with some signings. But there are a few. We can definitely spend some money and go after a few. We're going to have maybe 20,000, 30,000 that I feel comfortable dipping into. So it's a decent little bit of money, but our problem is nobody wants to sign with us. So they are going to charge outrageous rates unless we get riders that really aren't that good and can't demand that much. For them, outrageous is going to be, instead of 2,500, it's going to be 5,000. Instead of 5,000, it's going to be, maybe 9 or 10,000. So we can't aim too high, but there will be some more signings to come. But a couple things happened. One, I did get a second scout, but they bugged out. They've only finished 1 assignment in more than 2 months with us, 2.5 months on the job, and they only finished a single scout assignment. So they bugged out and ended up useless and wasting a bunch of money, unfortunately. But also a bunch of scouting assignments that were assigned to them never got finished. So there's still a lot I don't know about a lot of riders, and I still want to get my hands on riders that have potential that we can keep, even if I have to overpay a little bit for them. I'd rather get the better rider. Not just somebody who's going to help us a little bit right now, but somebody who's going to help us down the road, that we can build the interest and retain, and maybe, never mind that we're spending a little bit extra. We've got some room in the budget. Why not? Why not go for a rider that could help us long term? So I'm going to do something I've never done before. We're not going to finish on August 1st, signing everybody. We are going to go down the road a little bit, wait for more scouting reports to come in, and pick riders as the weeks go on. So, interesting new strategy, something I haven't really played with before. I go out day 1 and get everyone we can, and get the best riders we can get our hands on. And we've signed 5 good potential riders. Well, 4 good potential riders and 1 okay potential rider. But there's got to be more options out there. There's got to be good options out there. So we're going to look. We're going to try to find them. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.